Greetings, it's Jerry here. I've got a package from TEMU. It's been sitting around for about a week. I can't even remember what I bought. I thought I'd just open it up on camera and let everyone see what gadgets and things that I've bought from the Chinese world of e-commerce. Let's get into it. All right. Ooh, that's a nice sharp blade. So I'm just going to empty all of the things out of here first. We'll see what we've got. Nice. Got a whole bunch of goodies. Put the biggest one aside. Let's see what's in these two packages first. I honestly have no idea what this is. Ah, yes, okay. Well, this is exciting. This is the first 3D printed thing I've ever purchased from a Chinese supplier. Something I could have printed myself, obviously, but at the price that I bought it, I don't know, I'll put it up here. I think it was just better for me to purchase it. So what this is, it's an actual device for helping you paint models, because recently I bought a resin printer and I wanted to get into figurines and things like that and see whether or not that might be a hobby that I might take up. And so this is a gadget that helps steady your hand, I think, and allows you to paint little things. So you put them on here, and then you can hold the brush in your hand against this thing here, and you can, so I think it works like this. You take a model, and this is the first model that I have 3D printed on my resin printer. It's absolutely amazing, the quality of the detail on a resin printer. And then I don't have my paints with me at the moment. I have bought some paints, but I think the idea is this, that you now have something where you can hold something steady, and then you can, paint. You can hold your hands, and then you can spin it around and all that sort of stuff. So that's a pretty neat little thing, don't you think? Yeah, so I'll have to get in to this and see how it goes. It seems very detailed. These things are incredibly detailed. So I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to like it or not. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me attempt my first, my first model print. That could be fun. Or should I just do it on my own and because it's bound to be a schmozzle. But anyway, that was great. So yeah, I'll put up the link up above, I think, if I can find it, about how much I paid for it and where I got it from. So that's cool. Yeah, just to give you a bit more of an idea of the sort of amazing detail that you can get with just a basic resin printer. I mean, look at this. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so this box, I think this box has a strong magnet. Have you ever seen those videos where people do magnet fishing and they have a really big magnet on the end of a rope, and they put it in the water and they pull out stuff that you can't see? I've always wanted to actually see what a really strong magnet was like. Now, I only bought a little one because I was actually afraid. I was wondering, how do they ship them if they're so strong that they can pull up bikes and things like that. How do you ship them in the mail? And I guess well, I don't know, but I guess you just put it in a bigger box and, is it not? Because I was worried the Australia Post would be like, oh, you're shipping really strong magnets, or something like that. You shouldn't be watering them. But I'm not sensing any magnet, and of course I have no idea how strong this magnet actually is. But to be on the safe side, I only ordered a little one. Okay, so it's packed inside foam. Well, it's not that little. Interesting. But maybe it's just not strong enough to attract anything, if the distance away from it is that far. So it would have been sitting down in it. So there would have been, an inch and a half of space. And it looks like it is in a metal casing. That was the other thing that I was quite concerned about, because magnets are themselves very brittle. And this looks like it's in a solid metal casing. And the metal casing is just slightly, like a millimeter taller than the actual magnet in the center. So I guess that's how it works, so that you can keep latching onto things, and it won't actually, as long as the thing is bigger than the magnet, the magnet itself isn't going to be actually attached to it. There's going to be a small gap. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making this up. I mean, I've got no idea. So let's just see how strong it is. Okay. Well, not that strong. But I don't know how metallic that is, how attractive that is to it. Okay. Yeah, that's more attractive. Okay. This is where I'm going to hurt myself. I'm going to cut myself. Okay. Well, I'm glad I only bought a small one. I can easily pull that off. But, yeah. I mean, it's definitely stronger than any magnet I've ever owned. Yeah, so I reckon, I don't know, maybe, well, I'll have to look it up, but it's not so strong that you can't pull it off directly. So I'm not going to be pulling any bikes up on that. But, yeah. Well, that could be a bit of fun. Nice. Well, I'm glad I got that now. I shall have some fun with that somehow. But for now, I'll put it back in its little compartment. So I don't get into any trouble on the bench. Nice. Well, what's next on the list? So it's an inline ignition tester. I don't know if you're crusty old like me, but, I can remember a time when my father said, hey, just hang on to this, as he cranked over an engine, and gave me a huge shock. Yeah, testing to see whether spark plugs are working, is a pain. I still do it, obviously, with my motor mowers and things like that. So I just saw this and I thought, yeah, that would be all right. So essentially you put this in line, and when there should be spark, it will actually light this up. I really don't have any use for this in a car, because I don't have any cars that would use this, but I definitely have small motors, my ride-on mower and things like that, and so I'd be very interested to see whether or not this works. So we'll have to give that a go later on and see how good it is. And the final package, what do we got? Yeah, I've done this to myself again. Now, the last time I bought something like this, it was a little vacuum cleaner that I wanted to use to vacuum this up, and it was really, really cheap, and about under $10, and you know, it wasn't very good. So I pulled that down, pulled it apart. So this is a blower. This is a duster, an air duster, and it's supposed to replace canned air. Now the thing about it is, you don't, unlike the vacuums, there are no cheap versions of this anywhere. You know, the cheapest, I think, I'll put it up here. I don't know how much I paid, but it's about $24. You don't really get anything less than $24, and they go all the way up to a couple of $100. Now, I know for a fact that the really expensive ones work, and they work great because we had one at work, and I think it cost like $250 or something like that, but it was totally worth it for what we were doing at work. But just for home use, you know, I wanted to see whether or not I could get away with a cheap one instead of having to buy canned air. The claims that they make on Amazon and AliExpress and TEMU and all that sort of stuff is just, you know, insane. I'm very skeptical about all of the claims. So anyway, this is a cheap one, and of course we're going to pull it apart and have a look at it. But I'll have to do that in another video. But let me just grab an air duster and we'll just do a quick test. I think it might come with some charge in it. They normally do. Just hang on a sec. Yeah, so here's some canned air. This is like the cheapest canned air I could find. So the canned air goes between $10 and $5. They're the really cheap ones. A can, which obviously if you use a lot of it, you know, can get quite expensive. And this is not actually air, I don't think. It's some sort of inert gas that that is propelled out, whereas this one is actually just blowing air from the back to the front. So comes with a little nozzle like that. Let's just have a quick look to see what else they sent with it. Yeah, so they've got a whole bunch of things. Brush, not very high quality. So these aren't even attachments, they're just standalone brushes. This one is an attachment with a brush. Okay. And there's one with a little loop in the end. That's pretty sure that's for blowing up inflatable things. And here's a longer stem. Okay. So let's just give it a quick... Now, what's that for? I have to look that up. So yeah, let's just see if we can turn it on and see what happens. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I mean, it's not as strong as this, for sure. But, you know, just for blowing little things off the desk. Yeah, I mean, it works, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's nowhere near as strong as, you know, the claims make on the videos and things that you see on there. So definitely this could be good for dusting, but if you've got caked on dust, like inside a PC, in fact I've got a PC, so maybe we'll test it on that when I do a video of this and do a teardown, and we'll do a complete comparison to see how well this works compared to this. Definitely going to have its uses, and to be quite frank, this is a nice solid piece of kit actually reasonably impressed with it, so that's always good. Alright, well that's it. So that's my unboxing of my little TEMU delivery package, care package, to keep the boredoms away. Yeah, watch for some videos involving this gear. So let me know if you like this sort of thing, because I definitely get a lot of packages, and if people are interested in seeing this sort of gear, I'm more than happy to make a video of them. Also, think about giving a like if you liked it, and perhaps subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next video. Ciao.